All right. What's going on, everybody? Everybody's having a good day. We are live in the house here. We're doing the locker room special. Uh, what we're going to talk about is some competitive balance. Just me and Dean here. We have a room open here on Twitter and on the space, and we're just waiting for some people to come in and join. If they do, if they don't, that's fine. We're going to do our spot, and we're going to talk anyway. Dean, what's going on?
How you doing, man? Hot one today, what?
Yeah, it's been better.
Been a little better than it was last week.
I agree.
Last week was pretty brutal. Oh, sorry. About to get it started, ain't we?
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about football.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about to happen.
2 months out, month and a half for college.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready. Very curious to see how everything's going to kind of play out. We have all these different conferences. You know, as of yesterday, they said ACC is okay with just having 16 teams. So just to have 16 is going to be good enough.
Well, let me ask you, UCLA, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, when is all this going to take place? 25?
I think UCLA and them, they're coming, I guess, next year.
Well, has anybody heard? What about all this travel for UCLA and USC?
Airplanes, man. It won't be no big deal.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, I'm just asking.
All
It
right.
just seems like
Spotify, Apple Cast. We got the podcast going too, Dean.
all right.
All right, we're still here. Yeah. As far as like girls' sports and those kind of things, you know, I don't see why it's not going to be a big deal.
Well, this is not for football. This is for everything, right?
Yep.
So UCLA is going to be in Big Ten in basketball, right?
Yeah.
That just don't. That just seems like that's going to be tough.
Yeah, basketball and those kind of things. I'll go ahead and hit the link here, see if anybody's coming on. What's going on? Competitive balance is in question, is it? We don't know. We're just kind of tooling around here on the square spot here on Twitter. Me and Dean's just chopping it up. Thought we'd do a little locker room special. Probably give us about, 30, 40 minutes or so just to talk. And it's just a lot of stuff going around. So I guess we'll start out by this. Competitive balance is how are these teams, how are these teams going to play out when you have kids such as, like the question I asked, like Cincinnati, what's going to happen to some of these smaller teams? Are they going to get absorbed?
Well, that's what we were talking about the other night on the show, and one of our guests had said yes, they won't be able to play for a natty.
Well, now I did agree.
Is that correct? Like, let's say Colorado doesn't get in, which they will be, but or Cincinnati or Memphis, so they're just out of it. Who do they play? Do they just play other teams that aren't in the? How many conferences are going to be? There are going to be 3 major conferences.
Right. As of now, they're still, the Big 12, the Big 10, Pac-10,
right,
and SEC.
The Pac-10's going to get swept up.
And the ACC. So, all the conferences are still there.
Right, as of right now.
And nobody's adding or moving anymore. So, UCLA, USC coming to the Big Ten is for sure, and Texas and Oklahoma coming in 2 years.
To the SEC. Now, all that's a done deal.
Yeah, right? That's going to happen. So,
I don't like the UCLA, USC going to the Big Ten.
It's going to be strange, but we have to remember.
We know why they did. Yeah.
Well, TV money. That thing about the pie deal I broke down the other day. Why would they get the same amount of money as Stanford? Because Stanford don't bring the pie what USC does.
Right.
Now,
Stanford's not a bad team, but
in all allocations to not to be against Stanford or USC or anybody out there, but let's just be honest. This is our show, and We can kind of say what we want to. When's USC been any good?
Not on the national level since Bush, 2006, 2005.
So we're talking about 17 years.
Yeah.
So they're complaining about wanting a bigger piece of the pie.
Now that the word is that they're fixing to be back.
Well, fixing to be. I'm fixing to have some cornbread done, but I'm not eating cornbread right now.
But still, even with that being said, it's lower top 10. It's not higher. It's not top 5.
So to bring all these bigger teams in, to a conference, and like Coach O'Brien said, yes, if they make a super conference to where there's just going to be 2 conferences, and you're going to do away with the NCAA, yes, all those things that what he was saying that will pertain to that situation.
I would think they would have to do 3 major. I just can't see them put everybody into conference.
No, they're not going to do everybody. That's what you keep thinking.
Well, I'm just saying, even
there'll be 24 in the north and 24 in the south.
The 48 schools are going to be the only ones to play for.
And that'll leave how many?
90. That'll leave 100. That'll leave 90 something out.
Yeah. So those 90.
85.
That's the question: is what are we going to do with those 92, 93 teams?
I don't like the fact of just fluffing them off.
Well, is it going to be a competitive balance? So if we're going to pay big money to go to these games, and because TV college football games are down, it's not been as high, and you can't take skewed numbers from 2 years ago because of COVID.
Right.
Because it was bad. Well, now we're going to add more commercials, and watch the game for 4 minutes. Me and you done this one time. We watched 4 minutes of the game, and then there's a 5-minute commercial.
Right. And back.
4-minute game. And during that 4-minute time of the game, now we got to replay everything. And you got Gary Danielson. Well, I don't know. Let's go back and look at that again.
Right.
So then the 4 minutes of play actually turns into 2 minutes of play. So what I'm saying is the games have been, I think maybe I'm trying to give a reason why I think the ratings may be going down.
Right.
Ain't it just comfortable? I mean, then they sell these fancy TVs, and you can just be at home and get up and go do what you want to whenever you want to.
Right.
And you got to try to share a season ticket that you bought somewhere online and some guy next to you don't know, and you're rubbing elbows with them.
Oh, I know several huge Alabama fans. They wouldn't go to a game for nothing. They just stay at home.
It's easier.
Yeah. I mean, they just go in their man cave or wherever, watch it on their big screen.
Turn the game on, watch it.
Actually, that's and you ask them if they're going sometimes, and look at the look they get.
Game? Are you crazy? You seen when I got at my house? I got a 103-inch with a refrigerator down there in my basement. I got my feet up with my socks off in my recliner. So that could be reason some of the there's Benton Birds. What's up, Benton?
Benton, how you doing, sir?
Help.
It's not showing up. Well, yeah.
Invite to speak. All right, I got you, Benton. I'm new to this space thing here on Twitter, so just come on in there and just jump right in and hang on, Sheriff. Come on, and tell you. So what we're talking about, we was just talking about how TV, it's much easier, Benton, like just to be at home and watch a game.
Oh, right.
We're trying to figure out why some of these TV ratings are going down. That's kind of where we started at. And competitive balance is, of course, is it in question? So if we're going to make these bigger conferences and we're going to have teams to where it's just only like the top 25 teams are going to be playing each other.
Right.
So if we're only going to have those games, well, you would assume it in honesty, you would think that those games would be better, right?
I would think, but I bet they're not.
Number 17 versus number 21.
Right. Yeah.
But
you have a better lineup on Saturday.
But everything that we've seen, what's going on, guys? Y'all come on in and have a seat and just jump in wherever you feel like. Let me make sure I got this turned up. He's got his speaker. There he is. Okay. So we're just trying to say if number 17 versus number 12, you'd assume it'd be a good game. I'm just making up a number.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, then yeah, absolutely, we could definitely see some good games. But the case I made, didn't we watch Georgia and Michigan play?
Mm-hmm.
How bad a game was that?
Wasn't very good.
It was terrible.
Wasn't very good. Actually, I didn't watch it with you. I watched it over at Manny's, and I think we left the game and went and cut fireworks. I'm serious.
Well, there you go.
I mean, and I thought Michigan was very good, but it wasn't a good game.
And the Braveheart guy, Manny Hutchinson.
Oh yeah, Aiden Hutchinson.
That's Manny's. That's his nephew.
Now he was good.
Zero effect in the game.
Oh,
never heard his name called. He just got blocked all night long. So, is competitive balance, is it in question? I guess, the smaller schools that we keep saying they're not going to get absorbed by these larger conferences, what's going to happen to them? So, are they just going to become their own other conference? Because if the NCAA does go away, which Coach O'Brien predicted, in the next 10 years, that's going to happen. I agree with you. But for this next season, it's not. Because they've already said we're good with 16. Everybody's in. And Miami's recruiting like crazy. Have you seen all the kids they got?
Oh, yeah. They're fixing to be good.
They are raking them in right now.
Cristobal. He's a good one.
Yeah. So the thing is, and what you brought up earlier when we was talking earlier about those teams and why they play, and you made the point that it was good to get a break.
Yeah. Now you're not going to get that break. Like if Georgia, they're not going to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody does it. Like Georgia may play, Valdosta one week. And some of that's just to give those kids a break, and it gives Valdosta some money. And now that's going to be a thing in the past, right? Every week's going to be you have to step up and play.
Like COVID year when Bama played, 9 conference games.
Yeah. I think it'll be rougher on the kids. Rougher on their bodies. I don't know. I don't know that it'll be great. What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that week off. Even as a fan, I don't want to, you get overwhelmed with watching all this ball. You like a Saturday where there ain't 100 great games on. What are we going to do now? Get it started at 11 in the day and just watch all night, I guess.
Yeah. That's a good point. Now, the kids, as far as kids wise, these young men are accumulated to playing football year round.
Yeah.
They play in the summer leagues.
Right.
By the time they're 12 years old, they're at camps. I don't think that'll be a problem. But I'm with you. I'll give you a good example. The last few years before Mal Moore died, he was friends with the AD at Florida Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go to homecoming. My son was little.
Mm-hmm.
And going to those homecoming games, they would play Florida Atlantic or Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those tickets, one reason, I like it. The tickets were affordable. We could all go for, $100, $150. We could all three get in.
Right.
And two, it gives money to them because Mal Moore wrote a check to Florida Atlantic for, I think that year the quote was $750,000. And because he supposedly called Mal, hey, we're buddies and we're trying to build up a good band down here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to need about $250,000 would be good. Well, why don't y'all just come up here and play us? And, what gate money we'll do, we'll do that with you.
Right.
So that, like you said, that's going to go away. So what's going to happen to?
I don't know what's going to happen
to Utah State.
Yeah. I mean,
these guys here, we rep them a little bit. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, they're a great football team, man.
Yeah.
Louisiana, are you kidding
What's
me?
going to happen to Wake Forest, Syracuse, Iowa State, Texas Tech, TCU?
Well, Iowa State's in the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
They're in there with Nebraska. Go ahead, Ben.
To me, guys, it's important, and I know it probably isn't going to happen. I think it's pretty important for the game as a whole, the national game, to have at least these guys having a chance to get into whatever kind of championship we're going to end up with, whether it be 4 or 12 teams or whatever. Mm-hmm. Why else would they watch if they can't get in?
Right. So what's going to happen? What we're saying here, Benton, what's going to happen to these schools? Let's just say, like a guy on our panel the other night said, no way Arizona State gets in 2 of these power conferences. Well, what in the world's going to happen to football at Arizona State, which is not that bad? What's going to happen to it?
Well, to me, what we call the non-power conferences, everything but the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah.
You're going to have to try to load up on as many schools and 16, 20 team leagues, and there's going to be a lot of parity. There's going to be a lot of different people winning those leagues.
So you think that you think all the Power 5 schools are going to be absorbed into 2 conferences?
Well,
you don't think they'll leave none of them out?
I think Notre Dame's headed toward a conference as much as they don't want to. I think eventually, for the next few years, and it just makes sense for Notre Dame to be in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But does it make sense for USC and UCLA to be in the Big Ten?
No.
So who knows what may happen.
Here's a good.
I just think it's too much on travel, but I know travel's easier.
Oh yeah, they're going to get on a plane. They're going to go flying. Weather's not going to be a big deal. It's beautiful out there that time of year. November.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by the time they get to the end of November, they're going to be playing a home series. So they'll be playing at USC or something. So actually, the Big Ten will get some nice weather for the end of their season instead of playing maybe in the snow. Maybe Penn State.
That's one thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
That's one thing that's going to entice Notre Dame in my mind is because one of the things, obviously besides tradition, one of the other things that have Notre Dame back, they like to play that national schedule. They want to play on the West Coast. So now they will be in their conference.
They play USC and Stanford every year, right?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Well, here was my question the other night, and okay, there's 131 teams in Division I football. How many is going to get absorbed into these power conferences? Who's going to get left out?
We assume 24 in both. There'll be 48, but I think the ACC is going to stick around because they made a case today, actually an hour ago, breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
They're making a deal with ESPN right now. They're having a meeting because ESPN is trying to redo a contract. They're locked up with them for like 15 years. So Clemson and them come and say, hey, we're bringing a better brand than the deal you're offering us. You're offering these guys out west how much money? Because if you want to go back in time to 2000 earlys, do you remember when Syracuse and them, remember when that Big East fell apart?
Mm-hmm.
All that basketball, the last basketball game was Georgetown and Syracuse played that game. That was the end of the Big East. So
now they're all in the
because they offered them $2 million or $3 million, and they read in the paper, the Big East did, commissioner, that they offered $3 billion out west. Mm-hmm. So they were reproached from it. So that's kind of what's going on now. The Pac-10 commissioner is trying to make his deal with these guys, and the pie that they got is still just going to be kind of smaller and getting these small pieces. And the Big Ten commissioner is waving his hand saying, hey, let me talk. Mm-hmm. Hey, you want to come out here? I can offer you $30 more million a year to come play with us, because he knows it makes their brand better to have those two teams out there. So, but on Notre Dame point, let me ask you guys this. If Notre Dame, which I completely agree before I get too far gone, that they are going to join the Big Ten, but why didn't they join before? When all this went down and they're playing football with ACC, what, do they want them? Or is the tides changed now? No pun intended.
Well, they have to. I think they don't want to fool around. Tell me if I'm wrong, Benton. If they don't merge into one of these conferences, they can't play for anything, right?
Well, I mean, one would think that would maybe what it would go towards, but I mean, how many other independents are there out there? None of them have the prestige of Notre Dame. I mean,
who are the independents now? There's not many, are they? Brigham Young's not anymore, are they? They were.
I know they're joining. If they aren't already, they're joining the league.
And it was Notre Dame. I remember one time Miami. Obviously, they're not. I just don't know who all the independent programs are right now.
I would say just probably BYU, Notre Dame.
That's only two I know.
I could think of right off. What about TCU?
They're in the Big 12.
They've been in the Big 12 for a long time.
Well, I guess my question, Benton, is, and no, I'm not saying I don't know. I don't know either. How are they going to decide who gets left out of these power conferences?
Who brings the best brand?
It's going to be where do I want to go and who wants to take me? You know what I mean? Like as far as the SEC goes,
they're fine.
Who else do you see the SEC taking though? Eventually, I think they got to take more. I don't think they're going to stay where they're at. I think right now they may. I was listening to the Paul Feinbaum show, and they had somebody filling in for Paul, and he said, "Look, the statement the SEC's making is saying right now we're good. That's like him and his wife saying right now we're not pregnant, but it could change.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I see.
Anything could happen.
They're good at 16 right now. That's the comment yesterday was we're not moving anymore. And honestly, for what we do for a living, all three of us, we talk about football, and it's given us something to talk about for the past month because we know what happened from last year at this time on media days. We had this big spill, Texas, Oklahoma. But honestly, they come out with that just to let everybody know, guys, chill out. We're not taking any more teams. So all this theories about Clemson and Miami, Florida State coming to the SEC, you can go ahead and quit that talk. But there's other podcast people still talking about that.
I think that Louisiana, Central Florida, Memphis, some of those might come into the SEC. What do you think? Is that possible?
Central Florida's with the Big 12.
Oh, Central Florida's with the Big 12?
And BYU. So they'll be joining.
What about Louisiana, the Raging Cajun? The SEC take them on?
They could.
Possibly.
I mean, why would you? Why do you need them?
Yeah, right.
Well, you don't. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
But these teams are going to be scrapping to join somebody.
But why do they need New Mexico State or San Diego?
Well, I don't know
State?
what's going to happen to San Diego and New Mexico State. I have no idea.
Here's a theory. Now, this is just something that just come to my head. With JSU moving up and joining divisions, is that what's going to happen? Some of these smaller schools, they're going to have to try to start meeting in the middle. We're going to have another squeeze to where some of the bigger ones may change a little, but you have to do it by amount of students at the school, just like you do high school. That's part of it. And there's other factors, like you have to have a research institute to do this, and there's other factors. But I'm saying, is there going to be a squeeze? Because, again, I'll go back to revert to the early 2000s when the Big East fell in. Mm-hmm. This has happened before. And I think, actually, guys, there was like 80 teams affected by what had happened. Mm-hmm. I mean, God forbid, dude, back in the day, Georgia Tech was part of the SEC. Barry Bryant talked about making trips around the stadium, look at the field, and they'd hit him with bottles before the games. Mm-hmm. So it's not a doomsday again, and everybody's kind of panicking. And again, this is what us three do. We do talk about football, so I'm kind of calling I'm the pot calling the kettle black. But it is something to talk about. But
well, I say it's going to be a big deal if New Mexico State can't play for the national title. But how many times has New Mexico State been in the mix for the national title?
Yeah. Or
could you have like a second level national? You have your Power 5 championship and then your mid-major championship for the others, like a NIT.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Ben?
I get where you're going with that, but
I guess they could.
Why?
Well,
just to make them feel.
I feel bad about just leaving them hung out to dry with no chance of the championship.
Yeah, why would we want to participate? It's bad enough now you got kids that won't even play in bowl games because they're afraid they might stub their toe, so they don't play in games. It costs a lot of teams. Auburn cost them a game.
Well, okay, like for instance in Kentucky. They have a big school championship for basketball, and anybody can qualify for that. But then they have a small school championship, and you have to be a small school to play in that. The big schools can't come down there and win the small school. Does that make sense? Can they not do that in college football and give these teams they're going to leave out something to play for? Because you know as well as I do, New Mexico's not going to get in one of the Power 5 conferences.
Well, TCU ain't either. And there's Iowa State, and their teams that are already
I bet they put TCU in. You don't think they put TCU?
Well, they're in the Big 12.
Yeah, but I mean, even if they went to 2,
I don't know.
I still am under I still think that they're not going to just go to 2 conferences playing for the title. I think they're going to. Those other conferences are going to have more schools. They're going to have 16 to 20 schools in each. They're going to have their representatives.
And how many? You think the Pac-12 is going to be done away with? You think it's going to be the Big 12, ACC, Big 10, and SEC?
Yeah, right now, currently the Pac-12 they lost 2 schools, right?
Yeah,
2. Yeah, but I mean, Oregon and Washington will probably follow. I would think
in the next coming years, mate. But as of right now, they said there's no more They're not moving anything else. They're settling at 16.
Could you not stick all the Pac-12 schools that want to stay in it in the Big 12?
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Merge them.
Colorado, Utah, Stanford, Cal. Then
That's not too far away from each other.
Well, you're talking about Arizona State, and all the Utah, like you just said, and then to be playing, well, now I was going to say Texas and Oklahoma because they're not going to be in it.
Texas and Oklahoma.
They're gone. So yeah, Oklahoma State and Nebraska's not in it anymore. They're gone.
Then you could merge
Baylor,
Cincinnati and Memphis and all that bunch. They're going to have to join the ACC or the Big Ten or the. They may not. If they could do that, there might not be anybody left out. Possibly.
I think Cincinnati just joined.
Yeah, they did.
Cincinnati, wasn't they one of those teams that joined with BYU?
Yes, they are.
That conference?
Yeah.
UCF? Yeah.
They are.
Okay, so they're all in the Big 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or they will be.
Yeah.
So you don't think they're just going to 2 power conferences? You think they'll stay with 4?
For right now.
I think you got to because, then a lot of it's going to be North versus South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Civil War, Notre Dame versus Florida State.
You know what I'm saying?
Or Notre Dame
ever
It's
win
going to be the SEC versus Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notre Dame versus Miami, Catholics and convicts.
So what we're going to end up having, what we hope, is ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12.
Yeah.
Which will take all the Pac-12 teams, and I guess they'll spread the rest of them out.
Now, this is something that's probably what everybody's saying, not on a podcast, which, like I've said before, cancel culture can come cancel me, and I'm still going to post a video. We're going to be live Sunday at 6 o'clock. I promise you.
Yeah, you're going to be on here.
Yeah, Benton's going to be on there with us.
Yeah.
So I can say this with confidence. Me and Dean's talked about, I've mentioned before on the show. A lot of the things that's been going on out west because of politics and COVID, we've seen what happened. It's not like I'm telling lies or I'm spreading rumors. We've seen what happened to the state. You've seen what happened to the football programs. They shut down. They did not play all.
Yeah.
So zero money. That has to be on the mind
I'm sure
of these athletic directors thinking,
we don't want this to happen.
if we want to attract people, that's our job, is to attract people to come to our conference. Then how can we attract people to conference when we're not playing football? I think they're really lucky. Lincoln Riley stepped out on a limb. But if you see what they give him, a house, a 20-room mansion with an elevator in it, it's ungodly what he got. So I don't see why that couldn't be in the deck. I'm not saying it's the only reason. Of course, the TV deals and money makes a big part of it. The Big Ten is going to give them a better piece of pie. But wouldn't you think that would have to do with it?
Yeah.
Politics.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think UCLA and USC want to get in that, But let's just say they did shut down again. Them two's not shut down, right? Pretty much.
After they change over conferences,
Yeah.
Big Ten side.
But if you turned on Fox News today, I was flipping by a channel and seen Dr. Fauci on there. It's a strange. Then we have a virus, and you have to watch out and wear a double mask, and you got to watch out. And Dr. Fauci, he's a liar. He's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's listening to what he has to say anymore. And today he just said, "Oh, this ain't over. This is coming back again."
So I don't think nobody cares.
They're building already the media up to hear more lies and garbage. He's talking about you need to get your 14th booster shot. You go ahead and get your shot in your arm.
He's not really smoking.
But man, this guy's a joke. He's a joke, man. He's complete. Nobody could honestly. I surely wouldn't watch him and just sit on the edge of their seat going,
I don't think
"Be quiet.
anybody is.
I got to hear what Fauci says." Man, come on. So that plays a part in this. So with them being in California in the state, now they're not part of the conference, but they are still there in state. So would they? I don't know. I mean, would they?
But if
They shut the state down?
They could say they couldn't play home games. They could definitely do that.
yeah, and they just play on the road.
They just have to move.
Yeah.
I mean, not physically move the college, but I mean, the students would just find them I guess they just put them up in a hotel out here up in Ohio somewhere.
The whole point of what Matt did this show was to say with them merging and making 4 major conferences, is it going to hurt the competitiveness, the balance? What do you think? I mean, it could. I mean, Cincinnati's in the Big 12 or the ACC, and Cincinnati and Clemson's got to play 1 week, or Cincinnati. I'm just saying, is it going to be as competitive as it?
You would think it would be better, but the reason.
But really, in reality, will it?
Yeah, is the competitiveness going to still be the same? I think it should be better. What do you think, Ben?
I think it'll be better. I think losing the upper teams from like those other conferences is going to make those conferences more competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding stronger teams like, I'm going to give Texas the benefit of the doubt, but Oklahoma and Texas to the SEC, that's got to make it more competitive.
Yeah, I'm not as excited about others. I'm not really excited about them two coming in.
Texas and Oklahoma.
I mean, they upset you in a heartbeat.
I think it makes it better. Oh, yeah. But the kids love competition. They want to play the best.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are we making it too competitive?
No. I'm telling you, kids, this is not the game we play.
I mean, is this going to be like Georgia 7A? I mean,
Hang on
you better bring it if you're going to play in that.
Hang on 1 second. Give me a timeout right here. We are going to switch gears. Podcast people, hang on. We're still on our, and we're going to go right here. And we're going to go to episodes. And we're going to go to another episode. And we're going to go yes. And we're going to go to record. We're going to do record now. All right. Okay, welcome back. Applecast, Spotify. It only lets me do 30 minutes on the computer because my phone, it usually does an hour. So anyway, yes, well, you know how Georgia schools are. Benton, you can speak on this, and we'll get deep into that.
It's impossible.
You and Todd can talk more on that Sunday. That's kind of what we're doing in college, and it's turning more into NFL where you're paying players money. Transfer portal's not more free agency. Lane Kiffin's already talked about that. So just money and transferring all over the place. And the problem is Nick Saban brought this up, and the clip that I shared on YouTube is what got me thinking about this. Because he said, that's what he said. He said there's the haves and the have-nots. And we're the haves. Saban's saying, hey, look, I'm not griping. We are part of the good teams that get the benefits. We reap those rewards. But is this really what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Because he pushed for to play a 10-team schedule. He wanted to play 10 teams. You just play all your conference games. So then there'd be no doubt. Because if you're playing in the SEC, and everybody's going to say, well, what about the Big Ten? Guys, I mean, since Cardale Jones, 12 gauge up there, since he beat Bama, they've not really been that relevant.
No, they've not been great. They're supposed to be good, dude.
And I think they're going to play for it. And they got a really good shot at winning.
We're talking about Ohio State now.
He will.
You still on?
He will. That's lost signal. So that's kind of the question. I think we've kind of answered the question. Is it going to be is competitive balance?
Be back.
Yeah.
You there, Ben?
Right, man.
Okay.
I did lose you for a second. I lost signal.
That's okay. So is competitive balance, is it in question? Yes, it's in question because there's going to be more competitive football games.
Well, here's my question. Is it going, okay, I'm just using this example, Ben. In what kind of world does Cedartown not good enough to win a state championship? How many states would Cedartown have won the state championship in last year, Ben? 48?
At least, I was going to say over half.
Yeah, maybe not Georgia. But I'm saying that's too hard. I mean, are we going to get to that level in college football?
Yeah.
To where it's just too hard to win it?
No, because if you win it, you're definitely the dog. There's no doubt you're the champion.
Yeah.
After Bama won it that year of COVID, they played all those conference teams, and they can't nobody say, well, you was playing old Marshmallow Fluff over from Utah, and you played that old Division II school out there from Florida. No, we didn't. We beat everybody in our conference.
There are going to be more injuries now because you don't have these weeks off if we go to this deal.
They wouldn't have that year.
Mm-mm.
So, no, they won't be more. Kids, you must be underestimating kids.
Yeah.
These kids.
Well, I just think they need that week.
No, they'll have an open week. They'll have a week or two. Kids play year-round football with kids. they're at camps constantly.
Yeah.
I see pictures all the time on the page of people from Gadsden to Anniston, Southside, Etowah, Gadsden City. These camps are going on. These kids are not. It's not like it used to be, where during the summer you worked and went and did workouts in the evening. Those days are gone.
Yeah, I just left when I got on here. I was driving away from 7-on-7.
Okay.
North Sand Mountain was over in Somerville.
Okay.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It was going pretty good. Sugar's offense looked pretty good. They were scoring a couple times, and North Sand Mountain was connecting on a few passes, but it seemed like anything that had any air under it was the red team was going to get it.
Yeah.
Well, they got some good DB.
Anniston is was at Southside this morning, and Coosa Christian is probably getting done right now. They were at 5. So, I mean, you got stuff going on all the time. You know, I covered Cedar Bluff, went up Collinsville, went up there.
Yeah.
Kids are resilient. This is going to make football better.
It could.
But what I miss about it may be that thing of bowl games. That's a whole other ball of wax. And me and you tried to do it one day. Remember, we tried to get the paper and write down dates. Well, goodness gracious, the title game won't be till January the 20-something. So what's going to happen to some of these lesser bowls? And that's, the thing that I worry about, because like you said, Dean, well, that team like Houston, they have a good football team.
Yeah. So they're just supposed to not play for nothing now?
I mean, we're going to see bowl games for the next couple of years, but, what's going to happen with the bowl game? Are they going to go away too? Because you're going to have to make room in there somewhere eventually, because after this next 2 or 3 years runs out from the 14 playoff, it's going to go to 12. And y'all can go back on the page about last year and look at our locker room. It's got the same picture you see now. I did a special with Joel Clatt. He did a special on the 12 team. I reacted to it, and I was in the corner down there talking. I'd pause the video and talk about it. And he had a fantastic layout. It's nearly football, college basketball-ish. So,
hey, maybe that, and that, I'm sorry now, that'd be kind of exciting. Do you watch college basketball, Ben?
I do, especially during tournaments.
Okay. You never know who's going to win.
That's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to end up happening with football.
Yeah.
So, in that respect, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's very hard to pick who's going to win.
Well, check this out.
In basketball.
We look at Alabama's schedule, and I ain't got it in front of me right now. But, they're going to open with Texas, and I think they got Northern Illinois or some team.
Right. Well, see, that'll end.
Right. So, would you rather see Bama play Florida week 2, or or would you rather see them play Louisiana, the University of Louisiana, Reggie Cage? Would you rather see them play them, or would you rather see them play Ole Miss or Tennessee? Now, Tennessee game needs to stay in October. But you see what I'm saying? Yeah. What would you rather see as a fan? As a fan, I would rather see Georgia lop up and go play Tennessee week 3 instead of Riley Ridley College or Benton Burge University. I don't want
to. Where's that at, Benton? That's in Menlo, isn't it? Benton Burge University. You from Menlo, ain't you, Benton?
Downtown, born and raised.
Oh, okay. I thought you was. I coached Benton on his middle school. We coached you in middle school. You remember that? That's been a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
We lost one game.
Forget that.
One game. Of course, everybody back can probably guess who that was to. Pepperell.
Yeah. Now Calhoun's going to be good. We're going to get into that Sunday. I know he's got plenty of stuff to cover about that. I seen the poll that they had put out. Was it FYN? Put out a poll about upcoming preseason games, and it's going to be some interesting games over there in Georgia.
Now, this is way off the subject, but Matt was talking about Calhoun. I read a thing on Hal Lamb that said he didn't even like doing the 7-on-7.
What's up, Chris? What's going on? Chris,
how in the world are they so good if they're not going to 7-on-7?
They're just good.
And they rip.
They are now. I know they've had a few. They've had some padded camps, 7-on-7s, but Hal's no longer there.
He's no longer the coach.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable passing team. Just, Benton, I won't say nothing on the show Sunday, but I guess it wasn't really good news to hear that Hester was moving on, was it?
It's already, we shows, so everybody's kind of aware of it. So it's not really a big deal. But yeah, it was bad news. I mean, he's an electric athlete, and we're going to miss him. And the day that he changed his Twitter profile and he went and played a 7-on-7 with Rome, he got an offer from Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
So congratulations.
Oh, he's a freak now.
Yeah.
Best I've ever coached. I mean, ever been around. Especially in the defensive backfield. If he can't play college football as a safety, then I don't want to see the guys that can. I mean, because he's
continuing to grow too. He looked a lot bigger in the spring. You know, it was tough to watch him in the spring, knowing that he's gone because he showed out.
Oh yeah, I remember, and I'll shut up after this. But I did his DB drills one day. He was a DB, and I coached the DBs in middle school, and he come over after and said, "Coach, can you get somebody else to throw?" He didn't want me throwing to him. Apparently, I wasn't throwing hard. And I'm like, yeah, he wanted to run a mile to get it, and I couldn't do it.
So I guess we'll we've been on about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We'll jump off here and everybody go eat dinner, and you probably done made it home by now, I guess.
Actually, I'm a third shifter. I just made it to the office. I'm sitting out in the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Well, we had talked. I meant to tell Matt. Now you'll need to leave after about an hour Sunday, right?
Yeah. Just so I can. It's going to take me probably 50 minutes to an hour to get to work. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Ain't no problem. Well, I guess we can kind of say that we agree that competitive balance isn't in question. Sure, it is in question, but the competitive balance is going to be for the plus. It's going to be. Saban said something like this. In NFL, the NFL will have everybody be 8-8 at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
Because then you have equal games. Because the definition of competitive is nobody to have an advantage. And unfortunately, there's already teams, guys. Let's just be honest. Teams like who the top 10 are. Those teams have advantage because they have money. And now with NIL deals, you don't have to have the best looking facility. You don't have to have a hot tub and a cold tub like you do at Bama, or have 54 different jerseys like you do at Oregon. Hey, kids just want to go where they can get the best deal.
I think you two sold me. I think you. I wasn't real big on the.
It's going to be better. It has to be.
Well, I mean, what you would think. You would think it would be better.
Why wouldn't you want to see? Let's see what Texas and Florida get to play. They're going to all be in the conference together.
Mm-hmm.
And Texas's schedule looks like Florida, Ole Miss,
LSU,
Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said already at the beginning, we already have to watch 4 hours for one football game because we get 3-minute games and 5-minute commercials.
Well, I'll tell you this, and y'all know it's the truth. If they play tough schedules like that if they play good teams like that every week, there's going to be a lot more upsets, or so-called upsets.
There will be teams with losses. I mean, that's why it's important to me to have that 12-team playoff, because you're going to have teams with losses. You're not going to have no one-loss undefeated team unless they're really the juggernaut.
That's right.
Well, I mean, like he said, you go out here and you play Oklahoma, you play LSU, you play Florida, Texas A&M. I mean, that's tough now.
Be a great schedule.
I mean, who's your down week?
And that way they can sell these TV deals, because the TV deals are going to say, oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of people's going to watch them. So the more people we get watching, then therefore we make more money.
Guys, that's going to be too much. That's going to be too much college football. They're going to have to go back to Thursday nights. I miss Thursday night college football. Do you remember that, Benton?
I do. Fox is about to unload on the Big Ten. They're about to make that very profitable conference.
Here's another point.
ESPN versus Fox.
Yes, he's exactly right. I'll make this point too before we get off. We do know about Fire Sticks and those kind of things. I have one here in the man den that we're in here, and Amazon, Apple TV, Hulu, and Roku, guys, those are real things. And YouTube TV, they are part of this. Apple has already been out there trying to cut deals out west already. So money, more TV deals. If they can put, you're going to have more places to watch games at. So to be able to watch, like you said, we might have like three great games that day. One will be on ESPN, one will be on Fox, one may be on Hulu.
Yes.
Wow. On Hulu.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
It's going to happen, yeah. I agree.
Oh man, it's changed a lot. But it's going to be interesting. And I agree with y'all. I'm kind of in the camp where I think they need some, which I understand what Matt's saying. They do have an open week and they're young kids. But I do think that playing a tough game every week is going to be tough on them. But also that creates who knows who wins.
Well, that's what they're looking for.
You don't have a clue. Might not be Alabama. Heck, Auburn may win it. It may be like Ole Miss did in baseball. Didn't even have a good baseball team during the regular season. Won a national championship.
Yeah. It's all
So
true.
let me ask y'all a question right quick.
All right.
Back a couple years ago, when they first started talking about the playoff system, if they would have went ahead and voted to go to a 12-team playoff, you think we'd see all this realignment that we're getting now?
That's a great question.
I wouldn't think so.
Right off the top of my head, I would say no, because they feel like they're getting an opportunity to play. If you can just be 12, and we could go back and look on last year's, final 12, and we could kind of see maybe who was in that 12. What year before last, A&M, remember? They were hanging around.
Yeah.
I had them in my 4 one time, then we bumped them out. Well, who would have, you just have to think who would have been those teams like numbers 5 through 12. They've been Cincinnati, Penn State, Oklahoma.
Arkansas.
They were always in there every year.
What I totally don't understand is the conferences that voted against it were the conferences that needed the 12-team playoff to get a representative. What are they thinking?
They are the ones that are jockeying to move, because the Pac-10 voted against it and the ACC did also. And now, was it the ACC or the Big 12? Anyway, I know the Pac-10 did. Mm-hmm. They voted against it. Now look what's happened. Well, there are people saying, "Well, okay, you don't want a 12-team playoff." AM, USC, AD. All right, we're gone. See you, buddy. What?
Go.
What are you talking about? Gone.
Exactly.
Well, we want a shot at it. So.
Yeah. Hey, Benton, come up with your top 10. Make you
college top 10.
Make you a college top 10, son.
Yeah.
We'll do it early. And me and Matt did pick Georgia to win it last year.
We had Georgia and Oklahoma playing for the title. We didn't think Bama would.
We thought that.
We didn't think Bama would win the SEC. That's where we.
I'm not bragging, but we didn't think.
And we even picked the score pretty close.
I do think they will win it this year.
Yeah, I got.
As a Georgia fan and a Georgia high school sports guy, I am severely worried about the transfer running back you got from Georgia Tech. He is going to be a heck of a good one.
I'm curious to see how he plays in the SEC. Everybody looks good when out there running against that whatever they're playing, but now when he gets over here and he starts locking heads with like Bumper Pool at Arkansas, the Hogs are good. Yeah. They're going to have a good football team. I look for them to easily win 9 games.
Well, I didn't even tell Matt this, but I saw it 2 nights ago. I saw where is it Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel.
He had 2,500 yards his senior year at Dalton. That's a lot of yards.
I'm very excited. I'm curious to see how that all works.
And Dalton plays a tough schedule, do they not?
Yeah, it's I would say when he was there, it was at least 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, I mean, play Calhoun, Carrollton. Do they play Carrollton? I don't know if they play Carrollton, but they have a tough schedule.
Well, we're excited to see that, and Benton, we're excited to have you on coming up here Sunday. Thank you for jumping on here on our Twitter space with us. Just something new. I'm trying we just like to talk, so I wanted to get this out in the air about the competitive balance. And I think we've sold Dean on absolutely. It's going to be better to see Alabama play Florida regular season than it would to see them play Louisiana University. I mean, not against those teams, but that's what it is.
And I think it'll keep somebody from being dominant.
Yeah. You got all the big dogs playing in the deep end of the pool. We're going to find out who sink or swim.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you Sunday, big dog, and we're going to get out of here.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, see you, man.
See you, buddy. Thank you. All right, that's it, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in with us. We'll get you back Sunday at 6 in space. All right, we're done with that, guys. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us here on another Locker Room special report. We're just gonna get out here and go have some dinner. And remember, Sunday, Dean, we'll be here at 6. Ben will be on, and we're going to do some college football breakdown. I'm going to get some quarterbacks coming back in the league, and we're going to talk about 1 through 10, maybe, of those quarterbacks coming back to the league. All right, y'all have a great rest of the week. We'll see you guys Sunday. Thank you.
Just for this,